The 14 and 16-inch M1 MacBook Pros were some of the best laptops to come out in quite some time back a few years ago. And last year, Apple released the latest M2 Pro and M2 Max chips, and they put them inside of those redesigned 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. And so I've been using the M2 Max MacBook Pro right here since it came out. And so here is my long-term review of the M2 Max MacBook Pro. We're gonna get into everything I like, everything I don't like, and hopefully if you're on the fence about buying one of these, this video will help you out. But before we get into everything, if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos from us in the future. It's going to be an action-packed couple of months coming up. We've got new products from Apple, new software from Apple on the horizon. So if you want to see all of those videos, hit that subscribe button. And if this video was helpful for you, please hit that like button too. So the first thing you need to know is that this is the M2 Max MacBook Pro, the entry-level version. So it's already configured to have a 12-core CPU, a 30-core GPU, 32 gigs of unified memory, and 1 terabyte of SSD storage. I did not change anything. I just bought it as is. I believe it retails for $3,099 here in the US. And this is kind of the exact same configuration I went with the M1 Max MacBook Pro, except I had a 16-inch, and this is the 14-inch. And it's kind of the first time I've ever gone with the smaller MacBook Pro, and I have some thoughts. This is kind of my biggest issue with this machine, and it's not Apple's fault at all. It's just kind of my own choice. And I don't even know if I'm mad at my own choice. I have this love-hate relationship with this form factor. I think it's a fantastic size. It's almost perfect, though sometimes I do still miss the larger screen. I go through these phases. It really just kind of depends on, what I'm doing with this MacBook. If it's my daily use and I'm, coming to the studio or going to a coffee shop and I want to work on the go, which is kind of how I use this daily. Here I have a desktop computer that I use primarily, but I do often go to coffee shops and, try to get a different scene going on in my atmosphere, and just trying to work at a different location. It just kind of helps sometimes. And so, yeah, I take my MacBook with me, and that's fine. It's good for travel. And then when I go home, I use my MacBook at home on the couch. And so sometimes having the smaller size is nice, but also I don't really travel too far. So I could lug around that 16-inch MacBook Pro, and it's not going to be too heavy, and it's not going to get in the way of other things in my bag. But when you're traveling, anywhere else, getting on a plane with my camera gear and all of the tech that I bring with me, this is the best form factor by far. It packs in all of the power that you might need in that smaller form factor, and I really do enjoy that. But on a daily basis, I do often just kind of switch between, oh man, I wish I had that bigger screen. I wish I had that bigger battery. I wish I had that better thermal management, which is also something worth mentioning. I've talked about this before. When I had the M1 Max, the 16-inch, I never once, and I'm using this computer right now. That's what powers this whole on-camera setup. I've still never heard the fans kick on one time. I've never had it get super hot. I've never had any issues. And I've never really had any issues with this one, although I can count maybe 1-2 times where I've heard it start to kick the fans up a little bit. It is nothing like the Apple Silicon Max, the Intel Max. I also have one of those, and I've used it recently, and those things kick on the fans the moment you open up any application. It is not like that whatsoever. So if you're sitting here wondering if the fans are going to come on, it was one time during a project that I was editing where it did kind of get a little warm, and it did kick up the fans just a little bit, enough for me to notice, like, what is that sound? Because I've never actually heard it. And it only happened one time, maybe 2 times. I can't really tell you for sure, but that's just kind of what you get. But when it comes to traveling and putting this thing in your bag, and then with me, I have 2 lenses, 2 cameras, a microphone, an iPad coming with me. That's a lot in one bag. That really weighs it down when you have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. So having the smaller, lighter 14-inch is nice for those longer trips. So if you really think on a daily basis you're gonna miss having the extra 2 inches of screen real estate, you're gonna miss having that bigger battery. Also, the speakers are not nearly as good. And so, they're still pretty good, but they're not nearly as powerful and as robust as you would get on the 16-inch. And again, some of that thermal management deficiencies compared to the 16-inch. Yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I would probably just recommend getting that 16-inch, but if you are primarily using this on the go with other things in your bag and you really don't want that extra weight, you really want that portability, I really don't think you'll have any regrets picking this up. So just wanted to kind of talk to you about my struggles when it comes to having a 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro. The next thing is the M2 Max performance because, well, that's really the only major difference between the M1 and M2 versions of these MacBook Pros. And so the performance increase in the M2 over the M1 Max is actually pretty noticeable. My daily workflow that includes intensive tasks are a breeze on the M2 Max. They were really good on the M1 Max, but I've definitely noticed improvements, faster render times, faster export times, faster everything. And so it definitely reminds me a lot of my M1 Ultra in some instances. The GPU lacks a little bit compared to the M1 Ultra, but for daily performance, it's just as good, if not better, than my M1 Ultra. And so sometimes I wonder if I'm just using the wrong computer here at my desk when I'm docked. But honestly, this is a fantastic machine. It's super powerful. I have the M2 Max again with 32 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. I probably would not go any less than that in your configuration, whether you get the Pro or the M2 Max versions. I think 32 gigs and a terabyte of storage is the way to go. Maybe get 2 terabytes if you're doing a lot of video editing or working with a lot of large files. The SSD is incredibly fast, the fastest SSD I've ever used on a laptop. But overall, I do notice a modest performance increase over the M2 Max, but since I do have that 14-inch, the thermal efficiency has been lowered compared to the M1 16-inch Max MacBook Pro that I've used in the past. And again, it honestly performs right on par with my Ultra for like 90% of my daily tasks. So those are the two biggest things for me with this year's M2 MacBook Pros. And again, one of them was something that isn't really a new, there was a 14 and 16-inch option before with the M1 Pro and M1 Max, but just new to me. And if you're also thinking of going down from a 16 to a 14, or maybe going up from a 14 to a 16, hopefully I didn't make you even more on the fence. Personally, I think I would always go for the 16-inch and just kind of suck it up and deal with the extra size and the extra weight. But, the 14-inch, I can understand why people think it is a perfect size. And then again, with the M2 Max chip being new, I did want to highlight that as well. But the rest of the machine is very similar, if not completely identical, to the M1 Pro and M1 Max models. So here are some of my favorite things for those of you who have never used these newly redesigned 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. We'll start with the display. It's beautiful, it's bright, it's vibrant, it's crisp. It's just an all-around fantastic display, and one of the best that you can get in a laptop. Now, I use this laptop a lot, but I primarily use my Mac Studio on a daily basis with that attached to the Pro Display XDR. And honestly, I don't really end up thinking about ProMotion a whole lot or miss it until I pop open this MacBook's lid and start using it and seeing how buttery smooth it is on a daily basis. It's not a deal breaker in any way if Apple just one day decided to remove ProMotion, but I would honestly love ProMotion to make its way into most of the products. So the larger external monitors, Studio Display and Pro Display would be really nice. It's just a really nice to have feature. And so if you are going to be someone who uses your laptop not connected to an external monitor, you're absolutely going to love this mini LED display with that 120 Hertz ProMotion. I also love the reintroduction of ports. Now again, this is an identical design to the M1 Pro and M1 Max, so it's not new to this machine, but it's fantastic to have 3 uninterrupted USB-C ports because you can charge with MagSafe, and MagSafe charging is incredibly fast. Again, performance, battery life, not nearly as good. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but performance is amazing. It's super quiet. I did get those fans to turn on once with this 14-inch, but they're never going to be nearly as bad as the Intel chips. You'll never hear it for more than maybe 30 seconds. I mean, I guess I should never say never, but for me, I've only heard it once. It was for like 10 seconds and it did what it needed to do and it moved on, and I've basically never heard it again. And now some things I don't like, and again, this is all my opinion. It's nitpicky. Maybe there are some different things that you don't like. Obviously, let me know in the comments down below. The biggest thing I don't like, well, not the biggest thing, but one of the things I'm kind of sick and tired of is the keyboard. Not because the keyboard is bad for typing, it's actually quite good, but I'm so sick of the oil on your skin. Everyone's got oil on your skin, and it just spreads so weirdly all over your MacBook, and it looks gross. Within about like 24 hours of use, you see all of that. It goes on the trackpad too. I don't know what kind of material is used on top, but I don't know why. It just really, really bothers me. That's a nitpicky thing, I understand, but I just wanted to kind of stress that I can't be the only one who thinks that your MacBook keyboards look kind of gross after a few hours of use. Also, I'm not a fan still of this auto backlit keys feature. I miss just being able to control that from a couple of the keys on the function row. I don't know why we don't have that. I'm sure there's a way to get that, but I just, out of the box, I want to be able to just adjust that, and you can't. And so that's something I do miss. And the battery life, again, this could be an M2 thing. This could be a performance thing. This could be just, smaller 14-inch. Again, I'm used to coming from a larger 16-inch, but the battery life just isn't as good. I feel like it dies a lot faster. For a baseline reference, for me, I was able to kind of do a couple of hours of editing and get a full video done and still have plenty of battery to spare. I can still do that on the 14-inch, but there's not plenty of battery to spare. It's kind of like getting me through the day, just enough to get one project done, and then it's probably time to charge, which is fine. There's more performance. It's a smaller machine. I get it. And then the last thing, lack of colors. Please give us something more than just these two. I always alternate. Last year I had space gray. This year I had silver. That's so boring. Please, the midnight option that's on the MacBook Air, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with cool colors. I don't know why Apple just assumes pro users like more professional looking silver, and we can have some fun too. I don't know that it's ever going to happen, but I'm just going to keep shouting it. I want more colors, and I think other people do too. So my conclusion, my final thoughts, it's a fantastic machine still. It was already amazing with the M1 Pros and the M1 Max. Now it's just even better in terms of performance. And so, yeah, I love my M2 Max MacBook Pro. I don't think it's necessary if you already have an M1 Pro or M1 Max to upgrade, unless you're going from a low-end M1 Pro to like a super high-end M2 Max, then I guess that makes sense. It's easily one of, if not still the best laptops that you can buy. Most people are probably still better off with an M2 Pro. If your work doesn't really call for that extra power or performance, but I'm good with my lower end M2 Max model personally. I think it handles all of my needs perfectly. I'm still torn on the whole 14 or 16 inch. I think if I had to just, if someone was like, hey, you have to pick one, I would probably pick 16. But yeah, that's something I'm still working through and trying to decide whether or not I made the right call on the size. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I don't know what to say. It's a great laptop. Would love to hear from you in the comments down below. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.